fresh momentum for the GOP agenda, including health care and tax reform. Top Republicans in the Senate are now expressing optimism about a new effort to repeal President Obama's signature health care law. The bill, written by Senators Lindsey Graham and South Carolina Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, would replace much of the Obamacare legislation with block grants to states, giving them wide leeway to spend the money. Potentially complicating this effort, though, the Congressional Budget Office says that it will not have crucial estimates ready for several weeks, and the chamber's ability to pass the measure through a simple majority vote expires after next week. Joining us right now with more is Republican National Committee Chairwoman Ronna Romney McDaniel. Chairman, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Always great to be here.
Characterize what this bill means. Does this have legs?
It does have legs, and I think the idea of block granting the money to the states makes a lot of sense. Obviously, states are laboratories of democracy. They have the opportunity to work within their own demographics, within their own uninsured, to make the best plan possible. And then other states can copy states that are getting it right and doing it well. I think it makes a lot of sense. It's going to go to committee. Obviously, the CBO is important. They're scoring Bernie Sanders single-payer monstrosity right now. Hopefully, they'll be able to get a score out so that we can get this through and bring repeal and replace to the American people.
You know, it seems, Ronna, that the thing that's most attractive is that blue states get to do a blue solution, red states do a red solution. We find out which one works, and then we pick the best of them and apply those principles in other states. I think this is the smartest and most practical approach to a health care reform that I've seen. It's what governors have been begging for the last 25 years, and I don't know why this thing is not on fire and on its way to quick passage.
I agree with you. This is something that works for everyone. And to bring it to the state level, the 10th Amendment, this wonderful 10th Amendment, which we have in this country, it is hard to find a one-size-fits-all health care for the entire country that works. And the uninsured in Texas are very different than the uninsured in my state of Michigan. And so to give it to the governors, to let them work within their budgets, to let them work within their population, and to make the best plan possible. And then they copy each other and they say, this is working in Michigan. Let's copy that here in Arkansas. I think it is the best plan being put forward. And let's remember, Obamacare is failing at a rapid clip. In 2018, we are going to have so many people uninsured. Premiums are continuing to double. Americans are hurting across this country. They are seeking relief. It is time for Republicans and Democrats to come forward and put forward a solution.
Hey, Ronna, as you mentioned and we mentioned, the time is running short. In order to get this through the Congress now, it has to be done by the end of the month because of the budget reconciliation process. If it doesn't happen by the end of September, what's the strategy? And is this Lindsey Graham proposal that's out there right now potentially the basis for Republicans and Democrats to work together in 2018?
Yeah, obviously we're working against the clock with the September 30th deadline and the reconciliation that allows us to do it with that 51 vote threshold. I hope that Democrats and Republicans can come together. Listen, Democrats pushed Obamacare through. They didn't do it in a bipartisan way. They didn't work across the aisle with Republicans. I think that is one of the inherent flaws of Obamacare, that it wasn't done in a bipartisan way. So to come together to find a solution for the millions of Americans that are truly suffering. I see it every day. When I go home to Michigan, I run into people who say, my premiums have doubled. This is hurting my family. We are making choices between, can we pay rent or can we pay health care? It is frightening for people. We have to find a solution.
Graham and Cassidy have said that they think they can get close to 50 votes, but 50 doesn't count. Rand Paul's a hard no. Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, and John McCain have voiced skepticism. It doesn't look like a go. Not to shoot it down, but it's very unlikely that this moves.
Are the votes there, Ronna?
You know, the Senate policy lunch is today. I'll be at that. We'll see Secretary Price there, and I think they're going to have a robust discussion. From a party chair perspective, this is something we ran on. This is something Republicans have been running on. It is something our grassroots expects from us, and it's going to be hard in 2018 to go look our voters in the eye and say we didn't deliver on this signature promise that we ran on. So it's imperative that we put our best foot forward. Of course, we know Democrats have not been helping on this issue that they created. But it is Republicans that have the leadership right now, and we need to show that we can get this done.
But isn't that what was the sticking point the last time? It was Republicans that basically got in the way of victory. So when you look at the party, I mean, yeah, you ran on it, but are you united?
Well, you know, it did pass the House with 217 votes, and we did get to 49 in the Senate. We just needed that one more vote. So we do have work to do. Our margins are slim in the Senate. I'm looking at 2018 already. We have huge opportunities to pick up seats. I think the voters need to recognize how slim those margins are. It would be nice if Democrats would come over and help find a solution to something that they put in place instead of running and hiding. And it looks like we might get some bipartisan support with fixing this flawed Obamacare that is hurting so many people across the country.
Let me move on to the UN. The president set to deliver his landmark first address to the UN General Assembly this morning. He's expected to outline the America First agenda in the speech and also call out countries like North Korea, Iran. What are you expecting the president to say, and how might it impact the room there?
Well, President Trump has established himself as a global leader. We had 8 years of feeble leadership under Barack Obama. We are seeing the fruits of that with the rise in North Korea, with them having ICBMs and potential nuclear weapons. We've seen Iran ignore the Iran deal that they put forward because of the weak leadership under President Obama. President Trump is coming to the UN today to say we have a different leader in the United States of America, and we need our partners across the world and our global community to help us fight what we see happening in North Korea and in Iran, and we need to work together because the threat that they are posing to the world is something that we're going to have to face as a global community.
Meanwhile, we got to get to this because Hillary Clinton now is saying that she will not rule out questioning the legitimacy of the 2016 election if new information surfaces that Russia interfered more deeply than already known. Your thoughts on what Hillary Clinton is saying now?
Every time I see Hillary Clinton out there, it reinforces why she lost. She continues to make the election about her. It's always about her instead of the American people. A true leader, somebody who ran for president, who understands the greatness of this nation, would be stepping aside and saying, you know what, we need to come together and support this president. And instead, she is still continuing to try and delegitimize this election where President Trump won overwhelmingly with an electoral college victory. In my state of Michigan, we did a recount, Hillary. I was there as we were recounting the ballots in a hand count. She was not gaining traction. So it's time for her to gracefully bow out, say, I lost, fair and square, and we need to support our president, President Trump, because our country is more important than any one individual.
Ronna, why don't you just have a great big banquet in Washington, invite thousands of people, and ask Hillary to come, and you give her a participation trophy and tell her, here it is. Everyone gets a trophy. Now get the heck home and just be quiet about it. I think you could raise $1 gazillion for the Republican Party if you just have the banquet.
I love it. Will you host it with me, Governor?
Thank you, Ronna, Romney, McDaniel for joining us this morning. Appreciate it. We will see you soon, Ronna. Thank you. Stay tuned.